What up? What up? What up? Check it out, right? I wasn't going to speak on this whole Dianna Russini, Mike Vrabel shit, but it's been the topic of the week. It's, everywhere you go, it's all you see, it's all you hear. It even had them get Jalen dick out their mouth for a day or two. I was like, damn, it must have been a hell of a story because I turned on the radio, they was talking about that rather than Jalen Hurts. So it was a story. This is my twist, cuz. Hold up, let me take my shit. I got a shot of shit. Now, they gonna flame the bitch, you know what I'm saying? And rightfully so. She got up there and talking how she talked and everything and throwing her husband under the bus every 5 minutes. And then they pulling up all the interviews. She be talking shit and throwing her own husband under the bus every chance she get. Flirting with everybody under the sun. She came on our radio station in Philly and was barking shit and, just, I don't feel the bitch, you know what I'm saying? So, rightfully so. It's good to see her getting flamed, you know what I mean? She tried to sneak a little tweet in there, 6 a.m, thinking nobody was going to see it. They flamed her ass. That was all good and good, you know what I'm saying? I was enjoying that. As far as the situation, I mean, it's insider reporting, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and these people get their stories all kinds of ways. My only thing with it is, as it affects my team, it's conflict of interest. You see what I'm saying? First of all, what they're doing, and it's like because he wants AJ Brown. He never made a secret, but we go all the way back to Tennessee. You see what I'm saying? He told the front office, the GM, all of them, they were not to trade AJ Brown under any circumstance. Do your history. He told them that. Next thing you know, AJ Brown is traded. The GM's fired. He's fired. That's how that went down. But that will always show you how Vrabel feels about AJ. He told him back on Tennessee, under no circumstances are ought to trade this player. They trade the player to a contender, and you saw what went down. The boy was an all-pro every year, 1,400 yards, just killing the game, and that's why I laugh when people act like he's being misused here, like something like something was really being taken from him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so that GM got fired, and then they fired Vrabel. You know what I'm saying? Because they wasn't shit. They had some success, but, that owner took over and was like, nah. You know what I'm saying? So then, remember, now this is all way before this Dianna Russini shit came out. Then I remember, because they played it on the radio. I was driving to work one day and listening to the sports radio, and they played a press conference that Vrabel had, right? And they asked him about A.J. Brown. And he had to catch himself because he almost told the truth, and it would have been tampering had he told the truth. But he caught himself at the last second. He said something to the effect of, AJ this, AJ that, and we text all the time, all throughout the, and he stopped and he said all throughout the, because had he said the word season, tampering, baby, caught you dead to rights. So he said all throughout all the different times, like that. You see what I'm saying? He caught himself at the last second, switched it up. So I go to show you right there, if you got half a brain, they talk behind the scenes on some tampering shit. You know what I mean? Now you fucking the chick, and she's an insider, and she's reporting all this bad shit. You know what I'm saying? That's going to benefit you. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I say this is a conflict. It's just not good. As far as the bitch cheating on her husband, everybody knew that because shit, she'll tell you that. The husband probably tell you, oh yeah, the bitch cheating on Tom. Like, the fuck? I mean, the way she talk in these interviews and everything, and because I think somebody said something in one interview, like, oh man, bitch, you need a boyfriend or something like that, some shit, and she was like, no, tell my husband. Yeah, I do. I do need a boyfriend. Like, tell my husband and shit. Like, yo, I'm like, damn, bitch, you got no shame. This shit about this is some shit about she's married to somebody average. And if she was married to somebody more better, then she would post them on their social media and all that. It's like, yo, like, this is the kind of shit, if I said this shit about my wife, yo, this shit would be on. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, I mean, so that go without saying. Like, if you got half a brain, then you already, like, you know what I mean? So nobody give a fuck about that, to tell you the truth. It's just the conflict. It's just the way it's affecting our moves going forward. You see what I'm saying? So she deserved to get flamed. Now, if you noticed, he's not getting flamed at all. You see what I'm saying? She's taking all the heat. He's not getting flamed at all. You know what I mean? So, and they say, oh man, you know, it's double standards and everything. I can't, you know what I mean? Like, now, the next thing I'll say is, you see how they so quick to report on these players and their personal lives and just put all their business out in the street? But you see how nobody's speaking on her? All these reporters that we got in the game and all these insiders and everybody business, but nobody's saying nothing about her? Let that had been, we ain't even going to say Jalen Hurts because we know that broke the internet. Just, let's say it was Justin Jefferson or somebody. Everybody and their mom would have been speaking on it, putting their dirty laundry out, all that. You see what I'm saying? But because it's her, now it's like her fraternity, you know what I mean? Her people is like, nah, we ain't going to touch on that. Y'all full of shit. And then the reasons y'all give, like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all wanted the girl ran out of town, the one female reporter, and all she said was the coach had a good season. And y'all were all, man, they was ready to lynch the girl. You see what I'm saying? Now you find this girl's actually fucking the coach, going to a couple's resort, hugged up with him, interlocked fingers, chilling by the pool, and all. I can't talk on that, yo. That's why I say y'all be making me sick, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Every phase of the game. Like, y'all make me sick out here. I don't understand the dick eating. Like, you gonna report what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Like, you know what I mean? Like, come on, Chico. Come on. So, that's my take on this. That's the only thing. Nobody really cared about it. Insider get the information, how they gonna get it. But he was tampering already. You go all the way back to, like I told you, go back to the press conference he had. He caught himself at the last second. So he been tampering. Now you fucking with the bitch. She reporting all kind of shit that's gonna benefit y'all. You know what I mean? And it's just like, you know, that's just a little bit of a conflict of interest if you ask me. You know what I mean? Then y'all would have tore any other player down. Y'all would have put his dirty laundry. Y'all would have just, it would have been 24/7. But it's her. Y'all try to protect her. And then, you know, it's just that shit is whack. So I'm glad that the internet is rotisserie flaming this girl. You know what I mean? Which she deserved. She deserved to get flamed. You know what I'm saying? Now, there was also a move made yesterday. I might as well comment on that real quick. We got the Green Bay Packers receiver, Wicks. I like Wicks. You know what I'm saying? He was a FanDuel favorite of mine this past season. You know what I'm saying? That's the only reason I had my eyes on him the way I did. You know, he's a FanDuel favorite, man. If you play the tickets like I do, you know, he's a trustworthy guy. So, listen, they done signed Hollywood, Elijah Moore, and now Latavion Wicks. You know, it's looking like, you know, A.J. Brown is not going to be here, which most of us already anticipated. Now they saying none of these guys are number 2 receivers. It is what it is. You got to get depth at the position. You're about to lose a starting receiver, right? So I don't have a problem with it. Now, if they fuck around and draft somebody, maybe that's who they think they're going to be the number 2. I don't know, because all of those, you know, from Hollywood, Elijah, and Wicks, they all on a... Elijah is like a 3-4. Wicks is a 3. And Hollywood, homie, I say you had 1 year where you was a 2. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. You see what I'm saying? But I like getting depth at the position. So we're going to see. But they keep adding receiver after receiver after receiver. Now, on the radio yesterday, they tried to push an agenda and a narrative that the Eagles need to draft a quarterback. Like I tell y'all all the time, you know, part of the reason why I'm a Jalen Hurts fan is the hate he gets. You know what I'm saying? It makes me more of a fan of his. To watch him have all this success in the league and accomplished what he accomplished, and still have people chomping at the bit saying, they don't want him as their quarterback. And like I told the boy on Twitter, I said, yo, it's not about football for these people, man. They put a poll up there talking about should they, would trade Jalen Hurts for the Raiders' #1 pick and get the quarterback. And I'm like, it's not about football for these people. And a lot of people would do it because they'd rather have an unknown at quarterback rather than have a known that they don't like. You see what I'm saying? They'd rather lose the games than win the games with a quarterback they don't like. That's dumb. You see what I'm saying? Like I told you, I asked the guy on my job. He said, yeah, man, I used to hate Jalen Hurts before we won a Super Bowl. I hated him. And I said, all right, well, what was the reason? Like, what did something happen? What was the reason that you hated him? That's a strong word. Like, what was the reason that you hated him? And I told you, he said, I like a traditional quarterback. So think about that. You hate this player. You hate this man. Simply because he's not a traditional quarterback. Think about that, man. Y'all take that for what y'all will. I'm not going to assume anything about it. But that's what the man said to me. Y'all take that for what you will. You can code speak. What is a traditional quarterback? Josh Allen is not a traditional quarterback. What is a traditional quarterback? That's the thing. That he said traditional quarterback. Josh Allen runs a lot. And he ran a tush push out his ass these last few years. Got a lot of touchdowns on tush push. They run it a lot on short yardage. That's why we laughed when they wanted the banner. They're like, yo, y'all run it damn near just as much as us. But I already know the game. The same things that they will knock Jalen for, they will praise other quarterbacks for. Josh Allen being a prime example. He runs a tush push, get a touchdown. Oh, man, they should have heard the commentators during the game last year. Oh, man, great stuff. When the Eagles line up for the tush push, oh, man, see, here we go with the corny shit. You know what I mean? I don't make the rules, man. I just point out what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing to y'all. Like, that's what it be. Man said he hate the man because he's not traditional. But I bet you my life he like Josh Allen. I don't make these rules, man. I do not make these rules. Joe Burrow has missed half his games. Half his games. If Jalen missed anywhere near half his games, y'all would start a petition to get him out the league. You know what I mean? Like, they're just facts, man. And dig this. This was deep. This is what's deep, right? And this is how you know people's full of shit and it's not about football. Jalen, right, is criticized for not having the talent, right? He's not traditional. He don't throw over the middle. He can't make this throw. He can't do this. He's not traditional quarterback. He don't have the talent to be your prototypical quarterback, right? That's why he gets criticized, even though all he does is win. Look at his resume the past 5-6 years. All this is winning, Super Bowl, all that, right? But people trash him for that, right? Now flip over the page and go to Lamar Jackson. All the talent in the world. 2-time MVP winner. But he ain't shit because why? He don't win. It ain't about football, baby. One of them don't got the talent, but manages to win, which is the goal in all these sports that we love, that represent our city, right? The goal is to win. So we have that parade, right? And we can say we was the best in the world that year. That is the ultimate goal. For some reason, Jalen has made people forget that, right? So they still trash him until he's not shit, even though all he do is win. Now, flip it to the person with all the talent, all the arm strength, can make every throw, legs better than Michael Vick. 2-time MVP winner. All the talent in the world. But they gonna tell you he not shit because he don't win. So as you see, you cannot win in this campaign that they got you in. You cannot win. If you're a winner, they're going to trash you because they don't like how it looks. If you're God-gifted and got all the talent, put up all the numbers and win all the MVPs, they're going to trash you because you didn't win. So you see, there is no winning in this game that they got you running in. Unless the only way to win is for them to accept you and to like you. That is something you have no control over. Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, even Baker Mayfield. They don't have this problem. Even Jared Goff. They don't have this problem. They can lose as much as they want, look like shit as much as they want. Trevor Lawrence had a good year. I was proud, right? This past season, I felt like Trevor Lawrence played really good football, man, right? But before this year, not really at all. He was the number 1 overall pick. I didn't see nothing out of him. But he got $55 million a year without proving anything. Nobody batted an eye. Same with Justin Herbert. These people will continue to collect their money without any pressure of having to deliver anything. See, in my city, the block is hot. I watched my quarterback be Super Bowl MVP. And in the very next season, in the same calendar year, these same fans called for his job. Now, think about that. You're fresh off the championship. We're fresh off a parade in my city, and you were MVP of the game. Come that September, October, when the season starts, and you're playing games. Mind you, we started off 8-1. 8-2. There were people calling for his job. Now, I have never seen anything like that in my life when it comes to professional sports. In any sport. I don't have to ask y'all the questions because I know the answer. Do you think in a million years, if Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Jared Goff, Baker Mayfield, if you think if any of them quarterbacks won the Super Bowl, was MVP of the game, as soon as the next season start, do you think anybody would call for their job? So, and don't give me the shit about carried and all this stuff. You just saw the dickhead came out. That's why I like that the dickhead came out and said that. What's the dickhead name that was on the Chiefs crying on the sideline? Like he was 3 years old and he got his ass whooped. What's his name? The Menahu. That's why I like he came out and talked the shit that he talked. Because it's a reminder that people really did think those teams were better than us. Don't give me the super team shit now. Don't give it to me now because you want to discredit my quarterback. Because all throughout that run, people picked against us. Nobody called us a super team. People picked against us. They said we would lose to Green Bay in the first round. Then they said we would lose to the Rams in the divisional round. Then they said Washington, who upset the number 1 seed team that was supposed to be better than everybody, Detroit Pistons, fucking Detroit Lions. Then they said we would lose to them. And you know what they said going into the Super Bowl, so we ain't got to talk about that shit. It wasn't until after the fact, when people got in their feelings about this quarterback being a Super Bowl MVP, then they started calling us a super team. So I'm glad Menahu came out there and said what a lot of people were saying. Add another team to that list, the 49ers. Everybody said they were better than us. Don't call us a super team after the fact because you want to discredit the quarterback. Don't do that. Tell it how it was. You know what I mean? Don't give it how it wasn't. Nobody was calling us a fucking super team. Y'all always giving us reasons why we would lose, why we weren't a fucking super team during that run. That's what y'all was doing. Oh, y'all not, man, no, what's the name better than y'all? I'm going to beat them. And this, that, that. Then all of a sudden, when they win the whole thing out, and they say, oh, man, Jalen was, oh, man, y'all don't see anybody doing that, John. Y'all, yo, like, yo, man, like, this shit is insane. That's why I'm glad he came out and said that as a reminder. There were so many teams y'all had better than us. Wasn't until we won the shit and y'all just, for some reason, cannot handle that this quarterback is a Super Bowl champion and a Super Bowl MVP. They want to just find a way to fucking discredit this shit. So they, you know what I mean? Nobody's discrediting Sam Darnold. The fucking running back was MVP and the defense held it down. And all he did was not turn the ball over. Nobody taking his props. You ain't heard his name not one time. You would still think we the reigning Super Bowl champions the way they talk about my quarterback. No, I haven't heard Sam Darnold name one time this offseason. That's on Christ the King. Seriously. I ain't heard his name not one time. That's on Christ the King. You would think we the reigning Super Bowl champions. Y'all haven't mentioned that man's name one time. Why is this? Why I got my quarterback digging your mouth so much? Like what, you know what I mean? Like, what is it about my quarterback that just brings the noise to the block that sets the world on fire? Like, what? That everybody, like, yo, like, what is it? What is it about him that make a man say he hate him? And you say, well, what did he do? Did he smash your wife? Did he cut you out? Did he scrape up your car? Like, what did he do? What happened? Oh, well, no, I just like a traditional quarterback. The fuck? So if that's the case, any player that don't play my style, I gotta hate him in any sport? Oh, that Bryce Harper, man, you know, he got a violent swing, man. I don't like that shit. I like somebody's trying to make contact. Fuck him. I hate him. Real Muto, fuck him. He not a leader like Dutch was. You know what I mean? Dutch is my kind of catch, man. Fuck him. It's like, because they don't play the style? You hate him? Like, what is it about my quarterback that makes people like that? It's real shit. Like, what is it? Like, what is it? Like, seriously, because this shit is not human. Like, it's not like healthy weight. Like, only mine's. I don't see no other quarterback going through this. That's why when Dan Orlovsky said what he said, which I agree with everything he said, but the only part I don't agree with when he said, when they was like, yo, you think it's fair and all that shit? And he was like, nah, and he broke it down. But when he said, nah, it's being a quarterback and come with the job. No, not like this. Because again, I can name you all these other quarterbacks that aren't going through this. So it's not a quarterback thing that comes with the job. It's a Jalen thing. We ain't never seen nothing like this before in our life. Across any sport. Like, don't matter what sport we talk. I've never seen somebody talked about the way this kid is talked about with the resume like he got. And people just saying anything, avoiding the facts, just making up their own shit just to, you know, and then sounding stupid. Like, and sounding crazy as they go and do it. I mean, the man, once again, the man said, hate the man. And I said, well, what did he do? He had to do something. Well, nah, I just like a traditional quarterback. Okay, well, you don't gotta hate the man. You could say, you know what? Not my cup of tea, man, the way he played, but yo, I gotta admit, since he became our starting quarterback, man, it's been the best era of Eagles football ever. This has been the best 5-6 year run of any Eagles era ever. I gotta admit that. He not my cup of tea. He not traditional. I like more routes over the middle. I like somebody taller that stand in the pocket. That's what I like, but that's my quarterback. And I got to admit, he got us to the top of the mountain, you know, and I've been enjoying the ride. What's wrong with saying something like that? No, he said, I hate the man. And I'm like, man, like, I don't hate nobody that wear my team's colors, bro, across all the sports, from the Flyers to the Phillies to the Sixers to the Eagles. Because, again, you wear them colors, you want ours on the block. You see what I'm saying? With my colors upon me, one soldier stands tall. You see what I'm saying? You see somebody with my colors on across the street, somebody in a mix, got to get up in that. You know what I mean? That's one of ours right there. Straight like that. That's how it is. And that's why I say A lot of y'all that hate the way y'all hate on your own people, y'all not really fans of these teams. Y'all not really, you shouldn't be wearing these colors. You know what I mean? You get DP'd out here. You know what I mean? You're not supposed to be wearing these colors, bro. You're not really one of ours. You're not really one of ours. You know what I'm saying? You can't hate on your own. You know what I mean? You protect your own. Somebody need discipline within. Somebody's fucking up. We're going to hold ours accountable. But we ain't never hate our own. Not when they bleed and sweat for these colors. When they go out there and give it all they got, they put all that work in that you don't fucking see down at the facility, getting in there at 5 in the morning, leaving in the evening, putting their bodies on the line, blood, sweat, and tears for this city, for this P. Nah, we ain't never hate our own. We ain't never do that. So all y'all motherfuckers that talk that shit, that's how I know from the rip. You can't be from around here. You can't be seriously a fan of these colors. From that green to, you know what I mean, to that orange and black and to that red, white, and blue. You shouldn't be wearing them colors, man. You ain't really one of ours. You know what I'm saying? We could never hate ours. We could never hate ours. So as soon as you use the words out your mouth, I know you don't really ride for the cause, man. You gotta get the fuck away from me. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. So, yeah, I got off track a little, but had to bring it. You know what I mean? I had to let y'all know how I felt about it. And, just be easy with it. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to wear these colors and rep this city, man, make sure you're really down with it. You know what I mean? Because these are our folks, man. We don't hate our own. You know what I mean? So like I said, I wasn't even planning on making this video, but so many motherfuckers talk. I said, let me get on here. So, like I said, next I'll probably do the draft. We see from there, all right? Y'all enjoy y'all Saturday. Peace.